Live from the internet, it's the Dr. Tom the Frog Show!
Hi-ho, this is Dr. Tom, and you're watching the Dr. Tom the Frog Show, where we talk about tabletop RPGs. Now, tonight, I'm excited because we're bringing on Erik Schmidt. How are you doing, Erik Schmidt?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Great. Now, Erik, you're on because you have launched a brand new website called Learn Tabletop RPGs. Now, how long has this thing been in development? Because it's pretty interesting.
Well, it's actually the site's actually been up for 2 years, but I did an overhauled version 4, which launched just a few days ago, and that's what's been getting all the attention is the relaunched version. I sort of took a lot of what I had learned initially and plowed it into this new release, which took a few months to put together, actually.
Oh, okay. So you moved it off of GeoCities.
Finally, I got the word. I'm always the last to know these things.
Well, I'm sure that we can find the old version on the Internet Archive, right?
Yeah, it's probably in eWorld or somewhere. Yeah.
Now, so I am curious, Erik, why in the world would you start a site about learning tabletop RPGs? I mean, it's so easy. It's just dice and 400-page rule books and math and improvisation and storytelling and strategy and stuff. Why would you even have to explain it?
Well, your point notwithstanding, I felt like there wasn't really a good central place for people to go who were interested in these games, maybe had heard about them, knew people who were into them, but were maybe intimidated by some of the rules or sort of just intimidated by the insider lingo that tabletop role players use. And that was really the genesis of the idea.
Jargon is how we keep all the normies out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Actually, one of the nefarious purposes of the site is to actually make role playing, or to help make role playing more inclusive. And I really mean that across the board. I mean that. I mean diversity in the broadest sense of the term when I say that. I think that role playing offers so much and is such a great hobby, and I just want to make it as accessible as possible to a wide range of people. And I think there are a lot of people who are doing that with their games and with blogs that they're running and all kinds of other things. And I'm just sort of trying to put my contribution out there.
I am curious. The new design, the site looks great. Now, I imagine that you've had to afford a crack team of designers and writers and staff, so you must have spent millions on this.
Well, I economized by just using myself. I've been in the web development and software business for many, many years, and have done a lot with content-rich sites. And so I decided to just do it all myself. And it's, but this version 4 is the one where I really decided to try to make it as professional as I could and sort of to live up to the same level of quality that I go for with commercial stuff that I do, on large projects for clients.
Well, I can tell that you definitely played a role in the design.
Yeah, it was part of it was that the earlier version was it was a little more plain, a little more boring, and I wanted to make something a little bit more visually interesting this time around. And I wanted to make it as enticing as I could without bending reality too much. I mean, it's kind of one of those, pictures of people rolling dice don't really tell you the story. They don't really express just how exciting role-playing can be. But I was trying to sort of inject a little bit more enthusiasm into it than visual enthusiasm than the previous versions had.
I noticed you've got a section called 36 games, where you've listed 36 games. I noticed that you've been a little exclusionary here. The frogpocalyptic game called Apocalypse Pawn is not on the list.
Well, there are a lot of games that are not on the list, and actually the everybody who takes interest in the site and looks through who's already been playing games for a long time comes through and says, "Man, why did you put this game in? Why did you put that game in? Why did you not put this game in? Why did you not put that game in? And actually, originally the title for the page was 36 of the best role-playing games, and I switched that because part of the reason that I used the term best originally was because people search for that term all the time. Believe it or not, people are always out there looking for the best fantasy game or the best sci-fi game. And so that's a great way to bring in traffic for those folks and steer them towards interesting content. But I felt uncomfortable with that because it's not really about the best. It's about, that 36 is just a list of games that they're interesting, they're in print or readily available. They're not, telling somebody to go and play like first edition AD&D because that's the best version ever isn't really terribly helpful, And I also wanted to hit a broad range of genres, a broad range of mechanics, everything from, D20 to really heavily narrativist stuff. And I wanted to sort of show the range, and I wanted to have hopefully something where even if you've been playing for a long time, you'd find one or two games where you say, I've only vaguely heard of this, or I don't even know anything about it, and so you'd have a little bit of a surprise. So that was what I was going for.
Okay, Eric, just between you and me, which one's your favorite?
Well, that's really hard. Tonight I'm going to be running Nice Black Agent, and that's a cool game. I haven't been exposed to it enough to say that it's my favorite. My favorite recent game, actually, that we've played an awful lot of, actually, is Star Wars: Edge of the Empire. I was totally surprised by that. I did not expect it to be what it was.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like you roll these funky dice, and then you stop for a little bit, and you look at them, and you count it up. And you say, okay, I failed, but I have victory, so what does that mean? And then you have a discussion about it, and then there's a small argument, and someone goes out to get Cheetos. It's the best Star Wars game ever.
Yeah, by some accounts. There are a lot of people who are really, really into the East End Games version, which I never played, unfortunately.
Oh, man, you're missing out. That's
what I've heard.
Well, Eric, everyone has to go to your website because it's pretty fantastic. Do you have any plans for, is there a version 5 which is going to be 3D with Oculus Rift?
Actually, one thing that I am doing is I've initiated the blog portion of the site now with version 4, so I'll be adding some content to the blog. I'm not going to be doing heavy posting to that because I sort of try to make the posts pretty meaty and, substantial, and also because I don't have as much time as I'd like for that. But I'm also adding, I have more games on the list. So it's 36 right now, but before too long it's going to be 40, and then hopefully before too long it'll be 44 and 48. We'll just keep on going.
Oh, man, Warhopper 40K. Just keep your eyes out, Eric, okay?
All right.
Now, Eric, I've got a serious question. I know it's game night for you, so before we let you go play Nice Black Agents, I've got a serious question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Eric. What is your favorite die type?
Oh, man.
That's right. I hit you with a hard-hitting one.
Man. You could. You should be working for 60 minutes, man. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with percentile dice. I'm gonna have to go with percentile dice.
Oh,
I played a lot of basic role playing and RuneQuest and all that over the years, and there's a soft spot in my heart. Percentile.
I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on the Dr. Tom the Frog Show, Eric. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You just watched the Dr. Tom the Frog Show, and we hope that you liked what you saw, yo. But if it was a big waste of your time, well, it's free, so that's not a crime. But if it was a waste of your time, yes, it's free, so that's not a crime.